Sullivan. I'm a former IRS agent and teaching instructor with IRS. I worked at IRS for a decade. I've worked about 10,000 cases in my lifetime. I've been in tax defense on the other side for about 40 years. I've been doing this for 50 years. I'm a national expert in IRS resolution matters. Thank you for watching this YouTube today. It's the home of the 5-minute or less video. I can tell you everything you need to know without a script. I just shoot really from here. Many of you have come to me. You have seen all my national broadcast, and many of you have come here that way. I've had about 250,000 views so far and close to 6,000 views. I give you honest information. I give you inside information. And if anybody at all is telling you anything different from I am, they're either scamming you or they're lying. And there's a lot of that really going on here, because there's a lot of money that you can make in here. But God, this industry is loaded with people who unfortunately are reading from scripts. They have a coat and tie on, and you can, I guess, put lipstick on a pig, but when you have them work the case, the pig ain't going to work the case. Anyway, let me talk to you today about IRS hardship and how do you get yourself. You can't pay your tax and you need to get in a hardship or a currently non-collectible. How do you do that? Well, as a former IRS agent revenue officer, that's what I used to do. More on high-end cases, not on low-end cases. So let me tell you what this is all about. IRS will send you a whole series of notice from a CP14, 501, 503, 504, 1058, and at the end of the day, you're stuck with an IRS bill. And what do you do next? You don't have the money to pay. You really don't have the money to do anything. You're just getting by. IRS understands that. There's 3 ways you close an IRS case. You either do that by a currently non-collectible, or I call it hardship, a payment agreement, or you could file an offer and compromise to settle your tax debt, which is about a year to do that. But for those of you who can't pay the tax and you owe maybe up to $30,000, just do it yourself. If you owe more money than that, IRS is going to be a lot more suspect when you owe more money, and they're going to do a lot more due diligence, and that's when you need a tax professional like us or whoever you want to use. But let me tell you what it takes to get your case in currently non-collectible. Remember, I used to do these. I used to put cases. 40% of my working inventory now, and when I worked at IRS, I put them in currently non-collectible. What does IRS want? They want a financial statement. If the case is at the service center, they want a 433F. If the case is in a revenue officer's hand, someone's knocked on your door, they want a 433A. What are they looking for? They're looking at 2 aspects of your financial statement. They're looking at your assets, any liquidity, and they're looking at your income versus your necessary living expenses. When you go fill those forms out, you're going to put down what your necessary, what your expenses are. IRS is going to come back and say, that's not how it works. We have our own chart of how we're going to let you spend your money, and we're going to restrict you in food and clothing, housing and utilities, car payments, and car operation. You can look those up yourself. You can go to the IRS National Standard yourself and check what they allow you for food and clothing, what they allow you for housing and utilities. You'll go by state, and then you'll populate county, and then the number of people in your household, and then your car payment, operations for your car, and then actually to drive the car. When IRS puts that together and they look at your bank statements and your pay stubs, IRS can then go ahead and put your case in currently non-collectible. There's a lot of people, millions of people qualify for currently non-collectible. So like I said, if you don't owe a lot of money, boom, just go ahead and call IRS yourself. If you owe a lot more money, you better call someone, because they're going to ask a lot more questions. Anyway, this is all I got for you today. Give me a subscription if you would. I'd really appreciate it. It lets YouTube know we're doing a good job. That's how YouTube knows people are doing a good job, by subscriptions. I thank you for doing that. You can see my contact information below. Ask me questions, do whatever you want. And oh, that's not a dead dog. My dog's actually waiting for me to take him for a walk. Thank you for the subscription.